Oh, hello. Welcome to the Interjections podcast, codenamed The Undiscovered Decade. We are a podcast that takes a look back 30 years to the 1990s, and we pick something that is a hidden gem from, at this point, 1994. We're in our fifth season, and it's January 1994. So as you can see, hovering above Cory's shoulder, we have Chris Elliott. However, we're trying something different. We're going to try to see who can describe this movie as badly as possible, or if they want to, as succinctly as possible.
Oh, look at that.
Oh boy, we've got
production
value on this.
So we're going to put someone on the spot and have to get through the synopsis so we can just talk freely and at ease about the people without being like, oh, right, we forgot about Nicole Kidman in Billy Bathgate or whatever. So
She forgot she was in there.
I know.
Folks,
So-
we've upgraded to the spinning wheel.
Yeah.
We don't endorse
We're going with
Universal,
gimmicks.
by the way.
I'm going to cover that ad.
We got
We
gags.
don't endorse them.
Yeah. All right.
Whoa.
Getting dizzy?
Brought to you by Spinning Pin
Oh, yeah.
Death.
Oh, yeah.
That is the first
Alright.
one.
Ah, butterscotch.
Jimmy's in the
We
hot
have a
seat.
winner.
I'm not ready for this.
Oh, you'll be
Dang
fine.
it. No, I won't. I'm going to botch this so bad.
Just
All
don't
right.
get seasickness while you describe it.
All right. So, the movie for this month is an all-American unclassic, Cabin Boy, starring Chris Elliott as the lead character as, what is it?
The titular
Natty
boy.
Ice?
Yeah,
His name's
Nathaniel
Natty
Mayweather.
Ice. It starts off with this young man at prep school on his last day because his daddy's got hotels and he gets to go home and help his dad run those hotels. So that's his last day. And he's an obnoxious little prick, and he just immediately love hating him. So we follow his misadventure going from prep school to learn to be a fancy lad, taking a boat ride. He gets on the wrong boat and buddies up with a bunch of crude, rude attitude dudes, bunch of skunky old sailors. And are you timing me, dude?
Oh, wait, I hit 15 minutes. Shit.
Oh, wow.
I was
You
gonna
give me
say,
a lot of
no. He can't keep going.
Ramble this whole thing.
So how badly am I going so far? Give me a.
Oh, you were doing fine. I didn't time it at all.
Oh yeah,
I was-
right.
I was trying to switch up the wheel for our picks of the month later.
Yeah.
Growing
Yeah,
pains,
no.
folks.
So, right. So where was I?
I don't know.
He got on the
Okay,
wrong
so
boat
this-
with a bunch of rude,
So
crude
this
attitude dudes.
obnoxious fancy lads on a misadventure with a bunch of drunken sailors, and everybody queues up to the situation. So they're like, screw this kid, toss him in the back. But he wants to go to Hawaii, where his daddy is. And everything goes out of control from there. They lose their original cabin boy to sea, and then he upgrades to that. And it's just like all oddball fun from there.
It's just 5 weird guys in a
Is it
totally
five?
normal
Yeah.
situation.
And
Yep.
I guess this is sort of a
If you don't count
comical
Andy Richter.
coming of age story for a young adult.
Yeah, if you don't mind casually killing Andy
yeah.
Richter.
Like that.
Yeah,
Hey,
no, that's
hey,
fine,
hey,
that's fine.
hey.
He wasn't
the
helping
original
society
cabin
in
boy.
any way.
Oh, it was his
It's
first.
He knows how the hula
Yeah,
girl
that's-
stands.
Sorry.
the movie's produced by Tim Burton, so like you get a lot of Tim Burton vibes from it, especially with some of the special effects and
That's true.
and characters. I mean, hell, if you look at Sam Elliott and like how he's got that just grunginess about him, but if you look at some of like Tim Burton's like sketchy drawings, and you'll see how their hair is all floofy and the teeth is all kind of weird, and like you kind of see how Sam Elliott kind of just
Where's
or not
Sam
Sam-
Elliott?
What are you talking
sorry.
about, Sam Elliott?
Sam Elliott is not in
I-
this movie.
I'm
James
sorry,
Gammon?
my brain went pooped.
The Marlboro
fully
Man was
awake.
not in this
No,
movie.
Sam Elliott had a
Chris
cameo
Elliott.
as one of the
Chris
clouds.
Elliott. I meant to say Chris Elliott. Jesus.
Now I want to see Sam Elliott in Cabin Boy.
A transgender.
Yeah, that would have been so awesome.
I'm a fancy lad. I'm trying to get to Hawaii.
I mean, if you paint a mustache on Brian James,
I imagine Sam Elliott would play one of the sailors perfectly.
I thought
You
you
get
meant
that
James
right.
Gammon because James Gammon has that gravelly. Yeah, he was kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Got raspy boys.
Yeah.
He was my favorite.
Yeah.
of the four
They're all
boatmen.
great.
Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah, there's definitely splashes of like Tim Burton-ness here and there. But like this movie is like directed by another fella by the name of Adam Resnick.
Yes, sir.
Resnick.
Resnick.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good watch, fun coming of age, obnoxious weirdo movie.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
think-
Okay, that's good.
You did it.
Yeah.
You said you'd be prepared.
You did good, bud.
Oh, I was semi-prepared. I just
we all thought we were gonna write something down beforehand just in case.
just to get notes.
No.
Nope, I was
Like-
gonna wing it too.
the worst
I know.
acceptance speech.
I mean,
Yeah. Can you
That was
describe
almost
Cabin Boy
a
to
I
the
rate
rest?
myself a 1.5 out of 10 on that one.
At
I
least
I
it was
rate
fun.
you a Joe Coy.
There it
Oh my
is.
God. Ooh.
There it is.
You rate me
5
a
minutes. It took less than 5 minutes for Cory to bring up Joe Coy. Anyway, sorry.
That'll be stuck in time when we look back on this in 30 years. We'll be like, who the
So-
fuck was Joe Coy?
But before there was Joe Coy,
There
there
was Chris
Elliott.
It was Chris
Let's
Elliott.
get back
and-
on C.
All right, so I can give you a little history about the production of this thing
yeah.
because I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And also, not the plug, but Kino put out a Blu-ray of this that has a two-part interview with Adam Resnick and Chris Elliott.
I'd actually watch
Hey,
that.
Not Sam Elliott?
No, Sam Elliott was the moderator. He wasn't interviewed.
Imagine.
Ah.
I don't know why I have me here, but I guess I'll talk about Cabin Boy. What are my favorites?
Listen, not all Elliots are related, man.
I mean, you sure about that?
I mean, he's the son of a famous comedian and the
He is
father of
Bob
two.
Elliott. Do you know Bob and Ray hosted a radio comedy show? And actually, Bob Elliott is in the movie as the headmaster.
Mhm. The one that he's like pissing off and like good
Yes.
riddance. Yeah.
So the genesis of the movie is Adam Resnick and Chris Elliott were both writers on Letterman. That's how they met. They did a TV show, a short-lived TV show after Chris Elliott left called Get a Life, which was
Have
on the
you-
nascent Fox network.
Yeah, it had just started right around when
Yeah.
our podcast starts. Have you watched Get a Life? Sorry to interrupt.
I watched a couple episodes. It's very absurdist and surreal.
That makes me want to watch it.
Like a I think you should leave type.
It's not that dark, but yeah, it plays with the sitcom format a lot.
Yeah.
And again, like Chris Elliott's shtick, which you can tell from the movie, is he deliberately makes his characters unpleasant. So it's almost an endurance test as to whether you want to watch them for that long.
Doing research for this, I noticed the Bob and Ray show was similar to Get a Life. They would make fun of the sitcoms of the 50s and 60s. So it's similar in that vein. And radio shows, because I think they started right after radio was transitioning more to TV, like people were
Right.
heading over.
So this show was about
taken
he,
out
he
for his
played
dad.
he played a paper boy who was left at home, who was still living at home in his like 30s or 40s. So you know how a lot of sitcoms would play with people with like Arrested Development, Peter Pan syndromes. They took that to the extreme, and I guess it it got a lot of critical acclaim, but not a lot of ratings. So I think it lasted maybe a season or two, and then got canceled. It did attract the attention of Tim Burton, who wanted to direct Cabin Boy. So he asked them to write a spec script. They wrote the script. They put all these fantastical elements in there. Then during pre-production, right as they were about to go into production, Tim Burton got the offer to do Ed Wood, which was his dream project. And he was like, well, you know what? I think Adam should probably direct this. And Adam goes, I never directed anything in my whole life, especially something of this magnitude, which is going to, have a lot of sets, a lot of animatronics, a lot of just fantastical elements that I have to wrangle on top of a huge cast and shooting out at sea, which is always problematic.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sea Jaws.
he gave him the rubber stamp, said go ahead. And as proven from the credits, if you watch them, Tim Burton's name's there, but it's brief.
Mm-hmm.
So they were having a lot of production problems. You can tell a lot of it wasn't shot in at sea.
Yeah, it's almost
a lot of it's shot
entirely
in
in
a
a
tank.
soundstage tank. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
so
adds to its charm.
yeah, actually, yeah, I think it actually makes
Yeah.
this. I think it makes the spoof of the Errol Flynn movies, which is definitely what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
It's more palpable that way.
Yeah.
I think it works.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I guess based on that, they were having production problems because it's the first time director. He didn't really know how to direct. Obviously, it's a first time star. So about halfway through the production, they kind of knew that things weren't going to go that well, but they figured with Tim Burton's name attached, it would be a huge box office. Obviously, test screenings proved that people didn't like Chris Elliott's character. The movie didn't do well. But I remember in the aftermath, listening to the interview, they said, well, it was just our first movie. They'll give us another chance. But when your movie tanks this badly, no pun intended, you get no more chance.
Yeah, sort of the hidden gem here is Chris Elliott's career.
Right.
Wah, wah.
Wow.
I do like him. I've read a book of his, and he's very funny.
He is funny. He was funny in the sketches he used to do for Letterman.
Mm-hmm.
So, speaking of Letterman, the reason that he gets on the wrong boat is because he's given directions by David Letterman in a cameo who's selling sock monkeys. And it's just a perfect Letterman role because he's very cutting and dry. And as Jeff said, very quotable. Go ahead, Jeff, do the line.
No, it's just like he goes up and he meets him in like this almost Renaissance fair type sailor village. And then he's like, "Oh, you're a fancy lad, yeah?" And then they just improv an entire like 2-minute scene.
Do you want to buy a monkey?
But do you want to buy a monkey? And then he goes and directs him off into the friggin' woods somewhere.
Yeah.
And then as he's walking off, David Letterman just looks off into the distance and says, "Man, oh man, I hate them fancy lads."
Which was later spoofed by Letterman when he hosted the Oscars.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Everybody remembers the Uma Oprah debacle.
Yeah, when he hosted, yeah.
One of the sketches was he was like, I wasn't the top choice for this role in Cabin Boy, and they got a bunch of famous actors to recreate the "Do you want to buy a monkey?"
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting. I kind of want to look that up on YouTube now. I'm
it's
sure
funny
it's
actually.
out there, yeah.
He gets a lot of flack for that hosting gig, but I think he did a really good job.
Yeah.
So another late night alum is in this, Andy Richter.
Mm-hmm.
He's hilarious.
And it was his first theatrical movie. I mean, this is his theatrical debut.
This is before he left Conan to go do solo projects. I think he's hysterical in the movie. Actually, everybody's funny in the movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. There's not a false note. I mean, you got to vibe with the comedy. So if you're off already, you might not love this movie.
Right. It's almost like everyone else had a script and Chris Elliott was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna show up."
Yeah.
Just annoy everybody.
You never know what he's going to say.
It's literally
I feel like if generally speaking, if you were young during this time, like if you watched it now, you'd probably like it. It would be a good movie to watch. I don't see like why you were like, oh, this movie's so. They're just like, oh yeah, no, it came. It's like so. It's old enough to where you're just like, you kind of give it a pass for any. And like I personally don't think there was any significant imperfections in it. So
What's weird is looking at the set design. Obviously, a lot of it is for a first time director. It's actually pretty ambitious.
yeah.
It's kitschy. Like there's stuff where he needs to get his pipes cleaned. That with the is she a mermaid?
Yeah.
no, she's not a mermaid.
no,
she's
she's
supposed to be
not
like a Shiva type thing
Yes.
with multiple arms.
Yeah.
That whole set is impeccable.
It's a
It's
kind of
kitschy.
siren.
It's kitschy, but it's good. It has, the whole production feels like if it wasn't Tim Burton and it wasn't Adam Resnick, obviously Terry Gilliam would have been a good choice to direct this.
Yeah. I could see that.
It's got
Yeah,
a Monty Python sense of
right.
humor.
Well, it's got
It
the
felt-
Ray Harryhausen type of
Yes.
creatures.
With the animation, it was because the Ray areas and stuff like with the creatures and in the scenic transitions when they're going off, you got like the clouds have faces and they're blowing the storm, and for a little bit it felt more like Chris Elliott was trapped in an animated special for a second. Like they're sailing off through the icebergs, and I was like, "Is this Rudolph? What is that?"
Well, I got a strong Jason and the Argonauts vibe from that one.
It's like
scene
a
where they call
Saul
it the snow
Bass.
monster. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it hit the notes that it was trying to hit.
Yeah.
While also just being over the top and ridiculous.
Yeah, I wonder if Mike Starr was supposed to be like an actual monster, and they just ended up having to be like, Mike Starr, you're just big.
It's actually funnier that he's just a salesman.
Just a regular dude.
Yeah, I feel
who's
like that's
200 feet
minute,
tall.
like, what if you're just you but monster?
Amber
I feel like that was probably
shows
part
up
of it.
as a merman.
Yeah, wait, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what this movie reminds me of? Now that I'm thinking about it, this movie reminds me of like those like crazy 80s adventure movies for kids, like the Goonies. But like if you had grown up in the like you became an adult by the 90s, and then like this is what your adventures actually would be like.
Right.
So you're saying this is ahead of its time?
Or following the trend or ideas from previous like adventure movies, but making it a comedy. Like kind of making fun of that genre.
Sure. Yeah.
I just love that.
That's just the vibe I got.
Yeah.
Or yeah.
No, that's an on point observation.
Because like I said earlier, it's like a coming of age story, but it's an adult. It's like he's an adult leaving fancy lad school.
And obviously it was a deliberate choice not to have him shave the beard.
Yeah, well, that's why I was. Yeah.
And Chris Elliott has no qualms about coming off despicable, which is actually makes it funnier in my mind. If he tried to make, if by the end he had a redemption arc, it wouldn't have worked. He's still a prick at the end.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? I just saw what's the Chris Farley movie? I just blanked on the name. I had it and then I lost it.
Tommy Boy?
Tommy Boy. I went into that expecting Tommy Boy for him to be such an asshole the whole time.
That's David Spade the whole time.
And he's just kind of charming, and even though he's a little bit of adult, everyone lets him pass through life. And this is like what I had expected from Tommy Boy. He's an asshole and everyone just wants to get rid of him. But in the end, he ends up in the same place that Chris Farley's Tommy Boy does, where everyone's just like, you know what? I did enjoy your company. So it's
I don't know that they necessarily liked his company.
Well, he ends up going back with him, doesn't he? Because they liked him around. They seem to be happy when they're back on land.
Yeah. Well, he proved his worth by that point.
Yeah, I think it's just after his sex he's finally like a little normal.
Well, that's the thing. Like it's 40-year-old virgin almost. Like that's his arc is he got laid and now he's like a man.
He's a cabin man. Yeah.
Well, it's like they're doing a parody of what a leading man would be in one of these. Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
We're also forgetting like there are two other actresses that we haven't mentioned yet. One of which is is Melora Walters as Trina, who is she's a swimmer who's trying to like swim around the world.
It's like
the record.
She's Naiad.
It's Naiad, which just came
out. from Baltimore to Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yes. And so and they accidentally catch her on the fishing boat, and then she's just like
she was rescued, but she was actually just taking a nap.
Yeah. One of the best sight gags is the end when he's riding her.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like
into the sunset.
Yeah.
That was the worst part, to like look away and then look back. I'm like, what the wait?
Yeah.
It was like
that's how
commercial.
That's how he came in to help save the day when the giant was attacking the fishing boat at the end.
Yeah.
Like he's using her as a jet ski. I'm like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
But the other
it gets ridiculous in the right moments.
Yeah, well, it hits the right notes. The other cameo was Ricky Lake as the figurehead on the boat.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah.
That was Ricky Lake.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know that? I forgot to tell you.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Speaking of campy B movies,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The amount of makeup she must have undergone just for that mere cameo was probably hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luckily,
is.
she doesn't have to move much.
They
Speaking of
spared
that,
no
actually,
expense.
I really liked that she never actually has an interaction with Chris Elliott, like they never pointed out. And I also like that Russ Tamblyn never has a line as Chalky, the half
Yes.
man, half shark, all
which,
gentleman.
by the way, also
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I
she
forgot
did.
to
about
this
that.
movie. There's a
Yeah.
half man, half shark that, you know, Chris
The
Elliott
Shark
plays.
Man.
For people who
And then
don't know,
he-
he was a character actor, and also he's the father of Amber Tamlin.
Yeah, he's in Twin Peaks at the time. I think it had
Yes.
just ended, so this is like his follow-up to Twin Peaks. But he had also been I forget the characters, the Riff in West Side Story. I forget the names
Yes.
of the
Oh,
characters.
yes.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So he was both a shark and a jet.
Yeah.
Wow, look at
Ah,
you. Look at you.
holy shit.
I can't take credit for that. That was in
Also,
the IMDb trivia.
one thing that is extremely refreshing about the movie is it's 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Doesn't overstay its welcome at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a quick, easy watch.
Mhm.
Enjoyable, fun.
Yeah, before it's over, I was like, oh, it's already wrapping up.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
this,
oh, it's
this
just
would have
getting
been
good.
Yeah.
this would have
Chris
actually been
Elliott's-
perfect to be on repeat on television when we were growing up, because like this would have been an easy watch, like
Right.
easy peasy. Like come home from school or it's a Saturday or Sunday, you're bored, you turn on the TV, just happens to be on, you fly right through it.
And they could fill in 2 hours by having all the commercials. So I'm sure
Yeah.
TNT loved this.
That's Chris Elliott's secret, is he's annoying until he's finally not, and then the movie's over.
I know.
Yeah.
I actually really liked it as it was picking up for the battles and stuff.
Yeah. And then they ran out of money.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you could kind of tell if they had filmed this in order, it's kind of where they ran out of money. They have enough money when he's at boarding school. He gets kicked out because they don't have a scene where he actually arrives at the place.
Well, it's funny you said that
town.
because they had a certain budget when Tim Burton was attached, and then when he dropped out and just became the producer, slashed it in half.
Yep.
Oh, what? That's a dick
Yeah, how
move.
much had they filmed at that point, if anything?
Oh, I had nothing yet.
Okay.
He's like, I don't know how I'm going to achieve all these special effects without the budget.
Yeah. Supposedly Tim Burton came up with the design for the cupcake, so he still had some hand in it.
Okay.
So that may have just been in pre-production already.
Like
then they
one of the
kept it.
scenes you'll notice is when they put him on that plank and
Yeah.
set him out to sea.
Yeah.
You can see the sandbags holding it down.
Yeah. But that's charming.
Yeah, again. the budgetary seems
Yeah.
it works for
Like,
the, it
they're
works
not
in the movie's
gonna-
favor.
Yeah.
I feel like we all kind of like this movie, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What grade would you give?
I give it a B plus. It's a quirky, charmingly offbeat comedy. I enjoyed it. Makes me sad that Chris Elliott wasn't afforded more opportunities to do movies,
Yeah.
but I can see why. He doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have mass appeal. He's kind of niche.
Yeah. I think I'd agree with you, B plus. Because
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
vibing with it at first, and then the more ridiculous it got, the more I was into it. So
I will also say B plus.
Ah. Well, here I am just gonna screw up the average and give it a fucking F. No, no.
Oh,
no,
boy.
A minus. I'm giving it an
A-.
A minus.
All right.
It was
it's
like,
honestly
you know,
lower
it was a
than
good
that.
not too
movie,
far
but like,
from
you know,
us.
it's like has this, you know, tiny little problems, but overall, A minus.
For a January film, looking back on stuff like that Gregory Hines thing, like that's probably the
Oh,
worst
even
thing we've
Destruction.
watched. Yeah, that's probably the worst thing we've watched, and we were giving it the benefit of the doubt. We don't have to here.
Right.
I think this
Is
was
that
a
Eve
nice
of
choice.
Destruction?
Yeah, yeah. This was a nice choice.
Yeah.
It's weird that even back then, like even in a dumping ground like January, every once in a while, like things are unfairly tossed into this pile. Like,
Yeah,
Like this movie feels like it set the stage for Adult Swim, just as a
Mhm.
concept.
he did a show for Adult Swim.
I know.
afterwards.
Eagle
Yeah.
Heart. Yeah, did you ever watch Eagle Heart?
It's funny.
I did not, but that's
Nope.
it was like a Walker, Texas Ranger send up, I think.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch it because I do like Chris Elliott. So he was good in guest starring roles on like How I Met Your Mother. I didn't know he was in Schitt's Creek. He's the titular shit.
Yeah,
There you go.
his family was what the town was named after.
Yeah. So now, ironically, Chris Elliott's the reason I might actually start Schitt's Creek.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know. I watched
Yeah.
a couple episodes and I don't remember him in it. So I must have been out of it when I was trying it out. So maybe I'd like it more now.
His daughter is either still on or was on SNL.
She did a
she's
like
on-
3-4 year stint. She's already out. She was in The Bear
Okay.
recently.
She's on The Bear, which is an incredible show also, but
How is she on
which,
it?
which also makes me want to watch The Bear.
yeah.
Nice.
There's only 2 seasons out now. They haven't showed the third yet, so.
You like it?
Oh yeah. I love it. But I don't know why it's called a comedy. It's like a comedy for families who hate each other, but
It's a stressful comedy.
it's a it's a stressful comedy.
In the vein of You're the Worst or what else? You said something when it came out.
Kind of, yeah.
And like it's uncomfortable and you're
It's
terribly
real,
sad.
man. It's real.
Yeah.
But
It's like Uncut Gems as a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
right. But yeah, no, I like this movie.
So what else did this beat out for our podcast?
So we're gonna rank these. I'm gonna rank these from the worst to the best, in my estimation. Okay, there's 5. All right, number 5 is the dog sled competition movie Iron Will from Disney, which is about a kid whose father recently passes, and in order to raise money, he goes on a dog sled competition that's being canvassed by journalist Kevin Spacey. And it's always creepy. It's very creepy to hear Kevin Spacey watching a young boy from binoculars. That's all I'll say.
This is no White Fang, that's for sure.
No, it's very treacly, formulaic. It's really bad, really bad.
Brought to you
Probably
by
one of the worst
Disney.
live action Disney movies. Then there was number 4, Car 54. Where Are You? Which is adaptation of a TV show that was first on the air with Grandpa Al Lewis and Fred Gwynn before the Munsters,
Oh.
which is basically just about misfit police officers. I don't remember. I saw this years ago when it was on reruns for TBS.
Who were the
David
two main
Johansen's-
actors?
Yeah, David
Oh, there you
Johansen's funny.
Yeah, he's the Christmas Past from Scrooged.
Yes,
And then John C. McGinley from Scrubs.
and his musical alter ego, people might know Buster Poindexter.
Mm-hmm. The New York Dolls.
Yes. Number 3 is the erotic thriller Intersection with Richard Gere, Sharon Stone, some other people.
This-
It's basically it's basically a very ponderous movie about people who've gotten into I believe car accidents and
So this isn't like David Cronenberg and Crash.
No, it doesn't
Okay.
go to that extreme.
Okay.
But it's really bad.
Hmm.
It doesn't smolder like an Adrian Lyne movie would have. Number 2, I can't believe this is number 2. It's just because this month is so barren.
January.
And it's only because of one supporting role is why this is elevated. House Party 3. Okay. Yes, they made several house parties. This is the last one that was theatrical with kid and play.
How do they keep getting away with it?
I don't know. At this point, this is about Clay having premarital jitters, but they're allayed by his uncle, who is played by the scene-stealing Bernie Mac. And I think probably his first film role. And he yields a lot of laughs.
It's funny because that's the plot of the third Harold and Kumar, that John Cho is nervous about getting married.
Right.
Huh.
But yeah, whereas the first 2 movies were all about not objectifying women, they get rid of all that in this one. They're completely chauvinistic in this one.
Yeah.
And then number 1, still a mediocre movie, but it's The Air Up There with Kevin Bacon, who's a basketball scout who goes to Kenya, I believe, somewhere in Africa.
I believe Kenya.
He had
I'll
to look
double
for
check.
he had to look for for a new center for his basketball team. It's it's
little
full of
light
fish out of
racism.
water humor that doesn't land.
Yeah.
You know what? Ironically, I thought this was a Disney movie, and it might be a Touchstone movie
I think it is.
because it feels like they took a template of Cool Runnings and just didn't made it more culturally insensitive.
Buena Vista.
Buena Vista. Okay, that's an offshoot of Disney.
You know who directed it?
Paul Michael Glazer from Starsky and Hutch,
Starsky himself.
and Hutch just died.
Yeah, so R.I.P. Hutch.
Yes, so we killed him.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's our death of the month. Our other choice for this month was The Air Up There because I liked this as a kid, but I can't tell you it aged well.
It has not.
It's definitely like, oh wow, Africans are people too. When
I'm a
Kevin
white
Bacon
savior.
is in the village with his prospective star, so yeah, not great, but
Guy's a talented basketball player, not a good actor.
unfortunately, this is my introduction to Kevin Bacon.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I liked it as a kid, so I don't know how it holds up, but I just have these memories that are like this can't hold up.
When you're a kid, you're just like, basketball movie.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Hey, it's the dude from Footloose.
I was
Totally
7.
recognizing it. 7.
Even the basketball sequences aren't shot that well.
Yeah, there's
It's
barely
like-
any.
I was gonna say, White Men Can't Jump had way more exciting choreography with the basketball.
The main thing I remember is that he has to dress in war paint to tackle a boar
This is
that
what
has
I mean.
been terrorizing the village.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have just been the village pranking him. They're like, yeah, no, we got
I
a big
believe-
guy we
that
don't
at
wanna deal
one
with, so like,
I
just send the
believe
white
that's
guy
what
to
it
do
is. Yeah.
They do that. They prank him at one point by giving him an elixir that causes it's either diuretic or causes diarrhea. I forget.
I believe it's diuretic. Yeah, and they laugh
Yeah.
and laugh.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, we all have malaria though.
We poisoned somebody. They have diphtheria now. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, what's a little disease every now and then. Makes you stronger in the end.
On that note, let's head over to our other segment,
Yeah.
starring Jeffrey Sesselberg.
Yo, dox me.
Oh, very formal. Very formal.
Look at my
Is he-
rip.
Jeff, are you a
Brian
fancy lad?
Sesselberg
Nobody-
at
will you stop that?
79.
Jeff, are you a fancy,
Fancy lad.
Oh, I like the
All
way
right,
you did
so this is a little much. I can make it a little easier.
Okay.
Why does it look sort of terrifying? Why has it got two melted faces
Yeah, I'm gonna.
trying to
Yeah,
kiss each
honestly,
other?
Black
This,
background.
this
looks
is
like
how I
two-
wanted to do.
Looks
Oh.
like two
Oh my
melted
God.
faces, and now it's clearly someone covered in some sort of roots with their face split in half.
Is this a Hannibal Lecter movie?
So my first question for you to get a little extra point is what is inside that head?
I'm gonna say the killer, not the brain, because it seems like this woman was clearly murdered, and they're like trying to investigate. It feels like some sort of supernatural horror movie.
Yeah.
So I feel like but honestly, okay. So the way it's blurred out, the way that the middle bit is shaped, it looks like a silhouette of Donald Trump.
I think
God.
I said
Yeah,
like
that-
silly
that-
Oh,
putty.
because I
he's right.
spread back the
Because it's spread bet like it's got the hair
Yeah.
and everything.
It's because I hadn't.
You
Yeah.
coiffed it in Photoshop. You
I
gave it a
did.
Trump
Yeah.
coif.
I accidentally coiffed it because I left some of that brown in. That's more of
That comb over.
you'll see.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
I'll
looks
just go
like-
ahead.
it looks like the
It's her
comb over.
hair.
It's her. Okay.
So I was just trying to get the brown up towards the black,
Okay.
and then you see how there's a bit of shadowing on her forehead. That's the shadow.
Is that's not Jodie Foster, is it?
It's funny now. I'm
No.
looking at that. I thought the Photoshop looked better when I saw the original poster. Now it looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
This looks like it's the
I don't
same
know who
style as
that
like
is. Cory
Goosebumps
might.
movies.
I know who it is.
Yeah. Do you want to guess who it is for some bonus
He's-
points?
He's not gonna guess it.
Okay.
Probably not.
Is it down at the bottom?
It's
I can't even
yeah,
read
it
it
is.
down at
it's
the bottom
somebody who
anyway.
had like a big role in a TV show and a small part in a movie that he might
Isn't
know.
she from For
It's
Love and Money with Michael J.
from
Fox?
Felicity or something.
Yeah.
No, she looks familiar.
No,
I,
Tristan,
I,
you're right.
I might know what you're talking about.
Jeff, did you ever see
But
For Love
I
and
don't
Money?
remember her name.
No.
Okay, then you probably don't know who she is. This is like that's the only movie I know her
He
from.
would know her from the Oscar-winning movie she was in because she has a big scene in there.
What movie?
Son of a Woman.
You ever see Scent of a Woman?
No.
Hoo-wah!
Really? Okay.
Come on, let me drive this car. I'm not that blind.
The big tango scene. Al Pacino dances with her.
Yeah,
Cool.
And
she's
she's
in his
on.
Oscar clip.
Still not helpful.
Yeah, I
Have
know.
you ever
You're never
watched-
gonna get it. Don't worry.
Have you ever
I'm
watched,
never.
you ever watched Burn Notice?
No.
Have you ever heard of Bert?
Have you ever
Yeah.
watched? Do you like movies about gladiators?
Yeah, that's how it felt.
I know,
Anyway, it's Gabrielle Anwar.
yeah.
Have you ever heard of
You'll
her?
never guess who the
No.
director is.
Yeah. Okay,
But
so
We've covered one of his movies.
have we actually?
Yes.
Who?
The director?
Yeah.
You want me to tell you what movie?
Yeah, we're not gonna ask Jeff this part.
Well,
King of
Wait.
New York.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So that's Abel Ferrara. Anyway, the question I'm going to ask you is based on this post. So there's not anything else but to reveal the tagline and the name. So what would you think this movie is about based on what you were sort of going with? And now that you know there's a person inside
I'm
it.
going with supernatural murder, or she's a clone of herself,
Ooh, what?
Mhm.
and she comes back
Okay.
like one of those backup stories where the clone gets killed and then she comes back, and
Mhm.
Is there a particular version of that that's famous that you might know?
I don't want to. There are some where like that's the whole twist, and I don't want to like give that away.
Oh, don't
There's
worry. We're
one
all
that
about
comes to
spoilers.
mind.
Okay.
There's one that comes to mind, but
What is it?
I know this is
maybe-
before multiplicity, but
yeah. I think there's a BBC show where that involves like a lady that's a clone.
Orphan Black, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
yeah, kind of like that.
Well, you just spoiled that for me now.
Don't worry. It's in the first episode. You know
Yeah.
everything.
Or
It's not really a twist for that one.
or alternatively, it's a gender flipped version of Picture of Dorian Gray.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh, with
I
a
like
female
that.
twist?
Based on
Yeah.
the split of where it is, it feels like it's a painting. Like
Yes.
that's falling apart.
It feels like it's a painting, and
Honestly, based on this, it looks like another version of like Death Becomes Her.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some
Yep.
points for that. I like the Dorian Gray thing.
death becomes her, or like, this is exactly how the chick dies in the first season of Stranger Things.
Well, because of the roots and stuff, yeah.
Tristan,
Okay,
you
so-
okay if I give him a hint?
Well, I'm gonna give him the tagline. I wonder if that gives any hints. I forget what it says, and it's a little small, so you might have to squint. But
It actually looks like The Last of Us. Imagine you're gone and someone
yeah.
else living inside your body. Ooh. So almost clone, kind of like someone else is taking over.
Wait, you're on to
Like-
something.
Oh, it's
Clone
Animorphs.
body,
It's a yerk.
different mind. What?
It's
Jeff was on
Animorphs. It's a
something.
yerk. She's got yerks.
Yes. It's Animorphs.
No.
No.
Jeff is on to this. Let him
Okay.
know.
So
almost said
biological
it.
clone.
You literally stopped yourself from saying it. Go ahead.
I feel like
No, this is a biological clone of someone
Oh.
with a different person's brain.
I literally
No.
thought he was about to say the title.
yeah, it felt like you were about to say it. I wanted to get it.
Oh wait. Well, now I'm gonna. I don't know. Mastermind? No.
Can I give him a hint?
Yeah.
Mind meld?
It's a remake.
Yeah, that doesn't help at all.
Okay. Well, what would
root
you call
cause.
this? Root cause.
Root
try,
cause.
Try another name.
I'll tell you what, it starts with a B.
The me inside of me. Born again.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
Imagine. Hang on. If you're gone and someone else is living exciting about it. Reanimator.
That's funny. I think we should put him out of his misery. I think we were pushing too hard to
He'll-
try and get him to
He'll
guess.
recognize him when he sees the title.
Yeah. Bodies. God damn it.
Yes.
Yeah, see,
Uh,
every time
I
you
kn-
say
it
the
was
B,
right on the
I
it's
know.
tip of your tongue.
I was
know.
like, no, it can't be that. It can't be that easy.
It can't
Okay,
be.
so you
it
did-
can't be.
you did think
Body
it was-
Snatchers, the invasion continues.
Yeah. So is this actually a remake or a sequel?
It's a remake.
Okay.
It's
You did all right, Jeff.
obviously the 50s they had the Kevin McCarthy version.
Mhm.
In the 70s we had the Philip Kaufman one with Donald Sutherland. And then later on we had a fourth version of this, just called The Invasion. They keep shortening the titles.
With Nicole Kidman, right?
And Daniel Craig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the one that I always forget exists.
It feels like a job for hire for him because there's no able
Absolutely.
fair seediness to it. So
Yeah, it feels like he needed some money.
honestly, the best part of the movie is Meg Tilly.
Ooh. Yeah, you felt like you were about to say it. So you
You
definitely
said
thought
big-
it.
I literally was about to say it, and then I couldn't remember what I was
I
about
know
to
it.
say.
Right, because then
knew
Jimmy started talking about Animorphs. I feel like
Yeah.
he threw you off.
I did it on
Damn it, Jimmy.
purpose.
Well, that's
You were
Jimmy's whole
right,
thing is he
Jimmy.
tries
Sabotage.
to undermine me and all.
Jimmy-
this.
Yeah, but like when I said Yerks, that was the clue.
Yeah.
See, it's funny
Because
with some of these B movies. I feel like Jimmy knows them.
Box.
What's wrong with you? No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. It's okay.
Did you ever read Animorphs, Cory?
I don't
I
read.
had a few of them.
When did that come
I
out?
love the covers because the
Yeah.
morphing effect looks so bad.
Oh, real bad Photoshop. When did the books? Oh, 96 it started. So we're
Yeah.
2 years away from the best time of my
I remember
life.
I was reading Goosebumps and then I shifted over to Animorphs. I'm like, I'm going back to Goosebumps.
I read both.
Yeah, I stopped
More
with
Animorphs than Goosebumps.
I left Goosebumps behind. They're starting to get derivative because they had like a sixth Monster Blood, and
Flappy was
couple-
getting a little too overexposed, man.
yeah, he's like, how many times can this dummy come back? So
Now he's back again.
yeah.
Because
He's
there's
good in
a
that movie.
series.
Anyway,
There was a movie and then there was a series. There's now
yeah, I
a
hear the
Goosebumps
series
TV.
is good.
There was 2 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw that second one. Jack Black didn't come
Did
back.
he's got
That's a whole other
cameo.
thing.
Yeah.
But
Anyway, Body Snatchers was not good, I hear. So
It would have been if I had to rank it, probably would have been my number 1, but it was part of Poster Boy, so
true. Yeah. Honestly, it's gotta be better than Air up there.
yeah.
Like if that's our number one of the extras, there's a reason we picked Cabin Boy.
Yes. It's definitely the best movie that came out the month.
And speaking of Cabin Boy, I know we sort of picked what we were gonna do, but
Come on.
do you guys still want to go with Chris
Brian
Elliott? Because
Doyle, right?
you all voted. We all voted before the podcast. We were gonna go with Chris.
stop
Elliott,
trying to
so-
overturn the results of the election.
Yeah.
What do
Kidding.
you guys want to go with?
For me, Chris Elliott, his best role was The Song About Mary.
Mm-hmm.
He comes in, he's a pinch hitter, steals all of his scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Snow Day.
You son of a bitch.
I love that movie.
Do you?
I do. I still do. He was the villain. It was great.
He was a villain?
That was the first. Yeah, he was a snowplow man.
Oh, you're right.
That was the first. That was the first thing I ever saw him in.
What do you think, Jimmy?
Honestly, it's gonna be Cabin Boy, this movie, that I liked him in the most, to be honest.
Yes, I don't
Really?
know.
Like, look at all the other stuff. Like this is probably it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
This is his defining movie for me.
Not
Well,
much that he did.
Yeah, there
But
is.
the other stuff is stuff I haven't seen.
You saw the big movie you saw.
I mean, there's Groundhog Day, but
There you go.
like that's a big movie. We want to pick something for people to watch.
I know. I can give you one.
I could say Osmosis Jones because I've always wanted to see it. Is he good
There
in
you
that?
go. Yeah, I don't even remember a minute. The one movie where he has a cameo where he's hilarious. He's only in it for one scene.
Hmm.
Kingpin.
Hmm.
They do the Indecent Proposal parody with him.
I don't remember it. I watched it with you too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I got a feeling you didn't like that movie.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's only
Alright.
one of my favorite comedies of all time.
It's fine. I got a different taste in comedy for sure. I'll go
Right,
with The Abyss.
alright.
The
'Cause I don't
Abyss,
remember. I don't remember.
he is
it,
in it.
but The Abyss is the best movie in his filmography.
Really? Okay.
Well, I like Groundhog Day, but it's
I've never seen it. I don't know.
trying to suggest stuff.
I like how one of his roles, he's in Night Professor 2. He has no speaking lines.
Oh yeah, and then he basically doesn't have anything after this. I mean, he has cameos in Kingpin and There's Something About Mary, and that's it. I guess Snow Day.
Right.
And the scary movies. That hand thing is just so gross.
Oh, that's yeah.
No, thank you. Well, that's fine. I'm fine with Chris Elliott. I think this worked out.
Wait, what did Jimmy pick?
Yeah, he
You
got
pick Cabin Boy.
Cabin Boy because there was
Yeah, I
no
picked Tampa
choose.
Boy.
What did you say, Tristan?
Hmm?
What was it?
I think it was a good choice that Jimmy
Yeah.
chose. Cabin Boy, the movie we just watched.
No.
Yeah. I went with
Oh,
Oh, you
Cabin
didn't
Boy.
like him in Dance Flick?
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, next
he's
month
in
we're
it.
going to take a look at one of our most endearing actors of the 90s, right? Nick Nolte is in this.
I don't
right?
know about the 90s.
Well, he's pretty big in it.
I think he was starting to taper off in the 90s.
Taper off.
Yeah,
Doesn't
don't
he
you
win
think?
his? Doesn't he win his Oscar in this year, or not this year, but this decade? Did
He won an
win-
Oscar?
He has a lot of good movies in this decade.
Does he?
Yeah, he's huge in the 90s.
I Love Trouble's a big movie.
Jefferson in Paris, Mulholland Nights, Afterglow, U-Turn, Affliction, The Thin Red Line.
Those are all bombs. Nobody remembers those.
All of them.
He was
Well, then
big
we
in the
might talk
80s,
about-
not 90s.
Well, we might. He's what I think of when I think of the 90s.
Oh, yeah. His
Prince
mugshot
of,
war.
Prince of Tides and Cape Fear. Anyway, Nick Nolte starred in James L. Brooks' film called I'll Do Anything, which
We got
is
another
a
crazy production
huge,
history.
huge notorious bomb. And I've always sort of wanted to see it because James L. Brooks, supposedly is great other than this movie. But we can be the judge of that.
E-
So I hear interesting things about this movie, that it actually might be good despite its production
It
history.
was a musical, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, so we're gonna see how that goes. Maybe this is more January than January.
Could be.
We'll see. Well, we'll see you next month. Remember to rate, review, subscribe.
And don't get on the wrong boat.
Have everybody have a great night.
Stay away from the filthy whore.
Man, oh man, I hate them fancy lads.
Yeah.